Today, we're talking about speeding up off the bounce. Now, on both sides, this is something that's become, honestly, it's probably the thing that's gained the most importance in the last year. Why? Because the paddles are hotter, they're grittier, they have more dwell time, and you can do more with the ball. All of that leads us to being more aggressive at the net, less defensive. So with that said, today I'm going to talk about the one biggest thing for being better at speeding up and being more consistent in today's game. What's killing your speed ups is actually how much of the ball you're hitting. So in general, players that you think are able to hit really good speed ups off the bounce, the thing you probably don't know is they're actually hitting very little of the ball, right? The more of the ball you hit, and what I mean by this is if I come behind the ball like this, I can't hit the ball hard. Why? Because if I come behind the ball and hit it, power equals distance. The counter to that is spin. Right, so the more spin I get, the harder I can swing without hitting the ball out. Now, with that said, if I hit the back of the ball, still, even if I try to brush up it, the ball's gonna lift a lot. So the fix to this, which you couldn't do with paddles without grit and dwell, is we wanna hit less of the ball. So when I'm speeding up, I'm literally trying to hit the ball up here. So I'm not brushing like this, I'm brushing like this. And again, the ball will still go up a teeny bit. But again, if the ball is this high, realistically, I only want the ball to go up 3 inches. I only want it to go up high enough to go over the net, and then I want it to go down. I don't want to hit low and lift the ball up here on my speed ups. So for me these days, I'm very focused on a couple of things. The first is closing the face on contact. So the technique for hitting a good speed up on either side, but we'll talk about the forehand first, is I'm not hitting the ball like this, where my paddle face is open. And again, open is this, closed is this, right? It's the paddle's face in relation to the ground. So open is away from the ground, closed is towards the ground, right? So when I close the face, I can then come on top of the ball. So again, it looks like that, and I can get a lot of spin on the ball and get the ball down by doing it. When you hit with an open face, it looks more like this. And again, that ball still goes in, but I have to hit it slower, and there's more height involved. Right? So right now I'm going to show you some examples of what you can see and kind of how it looks. Oh, one more thing I want to mention. The important footwork for this is using an anchor leg. So what I mean by this is you don't want to be hitting your speed ups out here. This is another huge issue. Why? Because again, as your arm gets further away from your body, it becomes harder to make small changes. So you use more wrist to adjust rather than your arm. So when I get my leg behind the ball, I can be very precise in how I hit it. Obviously not perfectly precise, but I can be much more precise when I'm here to hit that ball and get it down quickly with a low apex. Again, we want the apex of the ball to be as close to the net as possible. That's how we get it down early. Okay, so the backhand, right? Your two-handed backhand. It's gonna be the same. A lot of people complicate it. The way I like to think about it is first you should mirror with your left hand. Or your right hand if you're a lefty. So again, my left hand needs to be in that same position. So if your paddle's like this, you have the same issue, right? So take off your strong hand and go like this. Now put it back on. That's the position that you should be speeding up in. So again, it's the same thought process. I still get my anchor leg behind the ball. I drop with the paddle face more closed, and then I'm gonna brush on top of the ball. And again, I'm using my wrist in the same way. My right hand is gonna be loose, allowing my left hand to snap on top of the ball. And again, it's gonna look very similar. So when I hit it, it's here, here. So again, I'm focused on using my wrist and my arms together. So if you just use your wrist, it's gonna look like this, here. That's why players are missing. And if you just use your arms, you're not gonna get the ball to dip. So a lot of times it'll look very like loopy. But if you use them together, when you put both, so when I drop with a closed face, I move my arms and I snap my left wrist, it's very good and the ball gets down quickly. That is how you can speed up super well. Now, real quick, I'm gonna show you guys in slow-mo what that looks like on the backhand, so pay attention. Richie, recap. This is a really important video as you're trying to level up from 4-0 to 5-0. Less of the ball. So again, to reiterate, if you have paddles, new age paddles, so if you're using one of the old school paddles, you will not be able to do this effectively. But if you're using anything that's released in the last year and a half, you can hit less of the ball. So hitting the top half of the ball with a closed face, right off the bounce, and snapping your wrist and your arm together are gonna get us the most spin and control with our speed ups. Now, on the backhand, it's exactly the same. On both sides, anchor leg, right? Whether it's a backhand here or a forehand here, right? Or if you're a lefty, backhand, forehand. But we get our anchor leg back, we are loose, and we snap like this. Now you can see, again, this is very different from this. So if you're someone that's like this, you need to get that paddle face closed. So close that face, snap that wrist, use your arm, and you'll notice a huge, huge difference. The last thing to mention, which I didn't mention earlier, is obviously the lower the ball is, the lower you have to hit, right? So again, a ball that's around your knees, I can be pretty on top. If it's any lower than that, I'm gonna have to be slightly more open with my paddle face because I need the ball to get slightly higher, right? But it's not a huge difference. You don't wanna have an open paddle face ever. Thank you for coming back for another video. I will see you all next time.